Good day, Stephanie F. Because remember, I had multiple Stephanies, and that threw me off this week because I was talking to both of y'all, and I was like, hold on, there are two of them. But let me tell you. So, from the moment that I tap in to your energy or make the decision I'm about to do your session, I'm locked in. We're going to find out what significance this has for you. But as of right now, it's just like an open mystery. So, when I first sat down here, keep in mind, I still have my morning ugly on, right? But I want to do my makeup, get my hair together because it's oily, it's wash day, right? And then I was like, I should put on my earrings, right? So I grabbed both of these and I noticed one of them had a back and the other one didn't. So I went out of my way to my daughter, like, hey, do you have an extra back? And I put it in with the extra back in and stuff. And I was setting up my light. And at that moment, my earring fell and I couldn't find the back of it anymore. And I'm like, okay. So the translation was you're missing a piece to your puzzle. Like you have the rest of the package together, but there's like one piece. And that's what you hired me for. Now we're gonna go over everything. I'm so excited. This is my first time doing the new version of my Akashic Records reading, where I get to go through a plethora of my decks and just like play around in your book of life, right? But the specific thing that will make a difference for your life going forward after this is that I'm going to be giving you, spiritually, mentally speaking, the back to your other earring so that your armor, your glamour, your look, your energy signature can be complete. So let me clear these out too. The first thing I usually do when I am tapping into an Akashic Records session is to explain the Akashic Records because it seems to work better when you understand where or how the energy is coming through, right? So the Akashic Records are a library that hangs above the earth somewhere, right? Imagine it like a college library. But instead of just like a particular group of souls, it is a collection of all the books of life, all the scripts for anybody that has had an existence in this Milky Way galaxy. This is for past lives, current lives, present lives. I said current and present, future. Days of future past type lives, right? Everything is already done. It is already written. It can be changed. It can be edited because it's in this vibrational library. So, you know how babies have a soft spot right here when they're first born? That is where our crown is. We are human radio receivers. We take in frequencies and we give off frequencies. This works the same way as when you know somebody's lying to you, but you don't know how you know, like you have no evidence, but you're like, this person is lying. That's because your crown picked up on the bullshit, right? That's how I am going to be doing this session for you. My crown is going to sync or turn to the radio station that is your Akashic radio station, your record. Everybody has a very unique tuning, I guess, frequency, EMF frequency, charge. You have a unique charge. And so I am plugging my Bluetooth or connecting my Bluetooth to the record of what you have been doing for the last, my mind said 2000. But these are 2000 Earth years and they have nothing to do with where you have been already. That's just the amount of time you have spent down here reincarnating, which is the main piece connected to what you need to know today, your earring back. So what I'm going to do first, now that you understand that I'm going to be streaming all your tea through me, and the cards are just conduits, like they hold the information so I don't blow my circuit just pulling all that info through me all the time. It acts as like a holding card, like I can pull info off of it and further hone into what a particular detail is. So I came on here because I'm picking out a frequency that aligns with what you need to know right now. I do this by going to this channel on YouTube called The Sound Healers. Let me turn my Bluetooth. So The Sound Healers has a collection of tarot card based frequencies, like radio stations. And when I do certain readings, not only does it block out weird noises, you gotta be scared when you hear it playing now. It's like, oh shit. or to further connect with and understand what's coming through. And for some reason, I was just immediately led to snake energy healing for yours. Your serpent energy is your kundalini energy. This is your enlightenment energy, your unrestrained source energy, your wisdom, everything that you weren't supposed to know. Like if Eve had not eaten from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, she would not have had access to her kundalini. So I don't know how long you've been going through your awakening, but that's what this is about. So I am going with this frequency, and it's going to pop up in the background. It'll probably be an ad first because YouTube. Okay. So this frequency says, turn it down some. White snake energy purifier. Cleanse, renew, and heal. In the sacred realm of energy alchemy, and alchemy is turning something from heavy, dense, dark, traumatized, or hidden to light, bright, empowered, right? In the sacred realm of energy alchemy, the white snake emerges as a luminous force of purification, shedding all that is stagnant and all that weighs heavy upon the soul. The ancient guardian of transformation assists in dissolving toxicity, severing karmic cords, and transmuting dense vibrations into radiant light. As you surrender to this powerful cleansing, feel the shedding of old layers, the dissolving of energetic obstructions, and the emergence of a new purified self, unburdened, unshackled, and fully aligned with your highest potential. So that is going to be the theme for your Akashic reading. And let me start like this, sorry. My nose never used to drip all the time. And then suddenly when I got these gifts, like my nose is dripping all the time. What's that about? I realized recently that the equivalent would have been like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Butterfly Effect, but every time he uses his gifts, his nose starts bleeding, or even 11 in Stranger Things. That's kind of what this is. It's like I'm doing something in my brain, which is messing with my sinuses that makes them drip whenever I'm channeling. You might be able to do something with that information. Maybe it has something to do with your set of gifts. So I am going to start officially, because I already got officially started, by pushing my keyboard back, because we are about to log in. I like to start with the Akashic Records Tarot. And I'm getting to show you this because in the future, after how inspired you end up after this session, you might want to get your own library cards. That's pretty much what this is. This is, if you don't have the ability yet, because meditation is a practice done over time to help you control the different ways that your brain waves are flowing so that you can take in more information and like control which station you're pulling from with your radio, right? The cards help you hack that. This is like your library pass, like, hey, I belong here. Let me see, let me get the info from my book, right? And over time using this, it's like the librarian gets used to seeing you so much, she's like, oh, you're back again. Like you don't need the card so much. You start to be able to stream or to lock in that vibration on your own with practice. But this is a great starting deck. Commitment. That's not what I pulled, but I'm just saying everything from the moment that I tap in resonates. So what is the theme for Stephanie's soul journey on Earth thus far? 2,000 years. What has it all been for, right? Ooh, mastery and transmutation. And then that whole snake thing I just read align with you learning how to balance your light and dark. But you didn't come alone. So maybe that has to do with the commitment that was at the bottom. And that was from my last pull that I did. But you got a guy. There's somebody you came with. So you came here on an emotional, sort of spiritual journey. And he was like, I need data on the humans. So your partner would be somebody who's more logical, practical, also into exploring. I'm getting. Stop for a second. The kid knocked on the door. Like, what was that? So logical, practical. But keep in mind, right now, I am referencing who you were before you actually became a human. I'm talking about you and your consort. That's what just came. It's like if you had a lab partner from another constellation, this was your lab partner. You wanted to go through a bunch of stuff and then turn back into like an ultraviolet version of who you already are, soul wise. I guess we're probably getting to that too. Whereas it feels like your partner, and keep in mind also, these are kings and queens. So celestial royalty. This is showing a human for the practical, logical, and all that. But what it's giving me is Arcturian, the scientist of the galaxy, like the constellation. If they wanted to come down here and find out something about the physicality of humans, the body, the biological things, like how the soul reacts when it's in a body. And it's so interesting because earlier I was like, hold on, because I was trying to figure out asteroid Jin 1719, by the way. And I was like, okay, there are human genes. Some people are gens that get called into this earth realm. How does that work? The body is the lamp. So technically, you can be getting called left and right, and you don't know you were fulfilling your genie contracts, which are a part of your soul debt that you owe to certain people or certain souls. Get to call you in for your good juju over time. It feels like during your experimentation with this person, y'all racked up a debt. That's why that last little piece came up. What's my camera doing? Never heard this problem. That's sketchy, right? Maybe I should touch the back. Let's see. All right. Well, as I was saying, y'all racked up some debt with him learning to be a human or enjoying things through the. It's because I moved it. Hold on. You've got this, Aisha. Okay, it's because I pushed the screen back. Come on, let me be great. So, as I was saying, something went awry. Something was a mess. And I'm getting the feeling now that the back to your earring that you're missing is this person who was with you going through this soul initiation. Y'all were supposed to completely drop down into the muggle, the human experience, get amnesia, completely forget that you were ever a being of light, which means that sometimes you were beings of dark or in your shadow self. It's even very possible that in order to ascend into this light, y'all might have started in shadow together. Like y'all both were like, all right, let's go to the very bottom and work our way back to the top. But the goal of that was through this initiation of dark to light, you both were supposed to be able to come into this combined Christ spirit energy. Like what you learned about healing the emotional issues within the human combined with what you learned about the practicality of this was going to be creating something that could be passed on in the future. This is the Akashic field. This is where the knowledge of all things exists. Part of what I was just saying about that library. The library is just like the very physical way that you can picture it in your head, but it's tapping into a field of frequency. Y'all are learning stuff to put into the database so that other people that come after you can benefit from your knowledge, particularly those that are connected to your sacred bloodline. It feels like, and this is trippy, I'm so excited. You too have been learning how to fix the ailments that befell the Arcturians so that there becomes a template or method, sort of like a doctor or a scientist would come up with a certain way to treat a certain ailment. And in your case, it's the splitting that occurs. Like some beings go through so much trauma that they become one light and one dark, and they don't know how to integrate that. You have mastered integrating it. And now, after this life, when y'all come back together, there will now be a file, a PDF, or a specified treatment that other soul doctors can log into and say, oh, this has been solved before. We go with the Fenwick method. Like, you know what I mean? Like y'all are discovering something. And you guys coming back together in unison and sort of creating your own castle, like him achieving, coming back from whatever happened to him in this life, is the thing that brings you guys back into balance and allows you to ascend. This life for you individually is about clearing everything that you have left over karmically wise, debt wise, from the war between heaven and hell, so that you can go home with your boo, your science partner boo. So what happened with the Arcturians, I'm feeling the need to elaborate, possibly jogging your memory so you remember what your part in it was. And I would, don't know the name of the author, so I'll probably have to send it to you. But there is a book you need to read to jog your memory called Merlin's War. And I'll have to find the author's name because I can't think of it. I was trying to see if I can pull it in psychically, but it is not in there. So, Arcturians, the scientists of the galaxy. Keep in mind, every planet, every constellation has something that makes them special, makes them unique, like one element. Earth is the petri dish for every other planet and constellation in the galaxy, right? So from Mars, you learn to fight, you learn strategy, boom, put that in the pot. From Mercury, you learn logic, you learn tricks, you learn puzzles, you learn games, you learn thought, put that in the pot. From Venus, you learn beauty, you learn how to make things grow. Like all of those add into Earth, because Earth is the final exam place. It's where you densify into a human to show everything you learned in the other places. That's how also in the natal charts, you can see like my Venus is in such and such. That's what you scored while you were on Venus, and the gift that you now have to bring down here from your time there. So the Arcturians had science. They had energy manipulation. They understood DNA, and they were using it for like, you know, their own stuff just to make things better. Like it seems like your hubby, your partner, your other half was doing alongside of you the whole time. Now, there's this being that came through the galaxy and went through every planet, every constellation, and took the royalty and the smartest scientists and the, I don't want to say this, like the best stock, the best beings from every place. To put this easily, it was the universal, the Milky Way Holocaust. Took the best athletes, took the best Venusians, took the best, you know, of everything, and then forced the Arcturians to experiment on these beings in order to create a hybrid being that had all the gifts from all the other beings to be a part of this main over, I don't want to say evil, but opposition, team other side, the ones that the kingdom of light were fighting, the kingdom of dark. So they wanted their army built based upon the best of every other creation in the galaxy. Because of this, and it being fear-based, every creature that had a high vibration dropped down. Nobody knew how to fight. Nobody knew that this energy was fear. It had never happened before until this being came through and started slapping people with his army, right? So when everybody's vibration started dropping in order to preserve heaven and make sure that this fear didn't rise up and throw off the whole balance of the cosmos, they locked the gates. This is the same as putting a password here. Like, hey, if your vibration is not above this, you can't get in the club. So essentially locked out of heaven. So not only were the Arcturians locked out of the vibration of heaven and perfection and bound below in fear, every time they come back to earth and reincarnate, they go through that pattern of having their gifts exploited, for particularly the Arcturians. Like, a good example would be like if Elon Musk had been an Arcturian in another place, they had him make a bunch of stuff and he was really excited because he thought it was popular. And then suddenly he realized, oh no, they're going to use it for evil. And then they off him and then take his creations. That would be a good way for me to explain what happened at the constellation that you started, that you were with this person. So helping the others raise their vibration through whatever healing modality you're going to come up with while you're here. And it could be love. So let's see. I'm actually being led to go with the healing deck period. This became a big like soul mission thing, like dun 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 dun. Star Wars, Star Trek. So what is the main thing that Stephanie is focusing on healing as part of her mission, her soul purpose in this lifetime? Because I am getting that you guys are meant to come into union and to ascend back to where you came from in this life. Well, look at that. So this is help from above. This lets me know you already ascended. You achieved the goal of balancing your light and dark previously. But imagine you achieve your mission and you're really happy when you get back on your spaceship. And then you're like, hey, where's Dan, my partner? And they're like, Dan didn't make it out the game. We are so sorry. He got stuck in the simulation. That's what you're dealing with. Like you were like, oh, hell, I can't stay here. Knowing that he's still down there stuck in his human cycles, stuck in his karmic cycles, stuck in his regret, shame, fear cycles. So you came down and you are meant, and this is so, but you look like you did before you came to Earth, so that the way that you look triggers this guy. Feels like he's important, whatever field he's in, science, politics, healthcare, right? But when you meet him, or when you met him, he was seeking his purpose. He was trying to find out where he was. He was lost, or he is lost. Your energy signature is a reminder for him to find his life purpose. And in you assisting him, you're going to realize, like, hold on, I'm supposed to be doing something too. But the combination of your energies together. So sex is the way we go back home. I know. Doesn't that sound crazy? But the essence of it, or the original essence of it, was making love, right? Love is source energy. So when you take your feminine energy and you mix it with male energy, that's balancing out the yin and yang, but it's also restoring the Christ spark that has both energies in it, right? It's like if it's the Trinity family, the last name is Christ. You can't have one without the other, or it's unbalanced, as we can see on Earth now. Mother Earth is feminine. The inhabitants of Earth have been pushed into a masculine energy because of the patriarchy, right? So what's happening to Earth? Fires, floods, famine. Everything is being destroyed, and as a representation of what is happening to feminine energy. Everything that happens amongst us as a hive happens to the planet, or happens in a way where we can really all see that we are failing as a whole on the class project that is Earth now. So you came down this time because your partner was still stuck. You were meant to merge with them in love and then healing. And didn't I say right as I was grabbing the cards, it feels like love might be the thing you add to the Akashic field, Akashic Records, like a healing method or modality. It could even be like tantric, based upon being seen completely in your sexuality. Like untethered in your sexuality. Because this was the last card. It says entrapment, right? But it did not make me feel like, oh, girl, run, get out of it. It's a trick. No, it's the dude with the spanking thing, and then her with the come hither eyes. So there's a story in Greek mythology where Ares was going ape shit on the humans. Like, I can't stand these humans. I'm about to take them all out. So Zeus, his daddy, decided to come up with a group of women that had the energetic signature to calm down or distract these guys from whatever their evil mission was. Because they're Martians. They were just trying to destroy stuff. That group of women were the Amazons, right? That's what I am sensing here. That entrapment. Like, you are coming into union or in union with somebody who has been placed under Martian programming. This means like he's always working, or he always thinks he has to work. He's not feeling like he ever achieves enough. There's a bit of anger, possibly some high blood pressure building under there just because of the stress that he puts on himself, trying to complete his purpose, thinking it has something to do with legacy or money, when his purpose is a soul one, and it's to find pure love, to find it within himself, to forgive himself, like soul wise, but also to find it in another human being, because the way you reflect back love to him by not running when he actually shows himself is the thing that's going to allow him to do it for himself. You see, or you will be able to see beyond the mask he puts on himself so that he doesn't have to reveal the version that he's scared to show everybody, even himself. Crazy, right? So every hardship that you have been put through in this life thus far is in alignment with this. That's what mission you have been training for. To lock in with somebody who could very possibly be afraid of love because they have not been given the opportunity to love themselves as they are. So, what is the heaviest part of this mission? What's that? Because everything before now has been practiced. The heaviest part of this mission going forward is the chaos that comes with it. I'm getting the message that I need to also send you a link. I need to write this down right quick. So I need to send you the link for the Merlin book and spiritually activated couples. So when a divine pair, and there's actually a couple links I could send you based on that for what I'm getting. Like, if you aren't already in union, you will be coming into union this year, I'm getting. So as soon as you pair with the person that you originally were like partnered with, the system, this matrix thing, this whole field of people who are actually soldiers that are a part of the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness war, that whole heaven and hell battle that happened, like that you hear in every religion, it's still ongoing. We're just all here on earth in bodies in different variations, right? So as soon as you tap into your partner and you start showing off this energy, like Christ spark energy is public enemy number one. So immediately, a lot of jealousy is going to come from outside. Like a lot of chaos. Like, people aren't going to be happy to see you together. But guess what? Look at the horns on both of those set of people. That's outside entities using people to mess with you guys. trying to break you up. And you could also have to deal with the fact that because he isn't used to the intensity of what's going to be happening in your relationship, he will try to hide the fact that he feels the exact same way that you do. So a little bit of energy that it's going to be like pulling teeth for him to express how he feels because he's not used to feeling like this or afraid that it'll get like pulled from underneath him or he's not worthy of it. But this is all related to stuff that has been put on your counterpart to try to make sure that y'all did not link back up in that perfect love, which changes everything. So, what dark goddess will be assisting Stephanie through this journey? What goddess energy will be assisting her through this? Holly just came in my mind, but that's because of the serpent energy. You're going to be learning how to master. You're going to be learning how to trust and master your intuitive gifts. And it's like stepping into your, it made me feel like a cat. Like, you know how lions walk? But it's like a different layer of your feminine energy. Ooh, okay. So the snake energy is also connected to Ophiuchus, which is the 13th sign, the one they removed from everything, because Ophiuchus is like the snake charmer. That's literally what it's called, which is the same thing I was saying about the Amazon women. The snake charmer women were created after the Sagittarius, the hunters, to make sure that there was something else slyly hunting the Sagittarius who were causing the problem for everybody else, because they are hunters. They're hunting different people down here, right? So even this is like secret soldier energy. You are going to be using your intuition from your Kundalini energy, your Kundalini rising, to fix the rift that has kept you guys separated lifetime after lifetime. So don't take your dreams for granted, I'm hearing. They are sending you messages all the time. Don't take your gut feelings for granted. You have no idea how spiritually lit you already are. Now, when you fully get acclimated in your gifts, you'll be able to look back on your life and say, oh, they were working all along. I was just unaware. But being able to look back and remember like signs and stuff you were seeing, you're going to be able to then connect dots like, oh, this is how my messages come through, just as you play around more and more with your stuff. And I'm feeling like you really need to get this deck. So I'm being guided last as I close here, because this ended up being important for like your purpose, for what you're doing going forward. Because everything before now has already prepared you for this relationship or this connection, but you needed to understand how important it was, in the fact that it's like everything before this person comes along and y'all come into a union, or if y'all are just getting in a union, whatever the case may be, was practice. You could even be in a relationship and you can be like ready to head out the door, like this is not going anywhere. But it's like you came here because this person had amnesia and they needed to remember love to get back home. Period. Like even beyond the 2,000 years y'all have been trying to fix it. So what are Stephanie's spiritual gifts that are meant to help her throughout the rest of this lifetime? Your ability to turn pain into power. Like you get mad, you get sad, but then you get angry. And that's when you get shit done. That's what I felt. Like you're not gonna ever be down too long. That's you. And it says resolve, but that's like resolution. You get shit done. I feel that so strongly. You plant seeds and then you reap them. Some people don't even plant the seeds, like they're too afraid. Like, no, when you're angry, you're going to go out there and load up the whole field. Like you are strong, you are relentless in your pursuit. You just needed to know what you were aiming for. So, interestingly enough, and I wasn't expecting this, it seems like if you have not already met him, and I'm just saying that as a disclaimer, there should be something like somebody coming in around summer, because we got summer and the hero, right? Because that's the masculine. But look, the heroine was there coming into union, because you guys are about to go on an adventure. Like y'all are about to answer the call. Y'all are about to enter that next phase I'm getting. But I also am picking up that I need to read something in this Lady Summer thing that is going to trigger you subconsciously, and you'll be able to carry this with you as the closing message today. It's like I just did a briefing for you. Like, hello, Stephanie. Welcome to This Is Your Life. You need a reminder about what you were supposed to be doing here on earth. I am so happy to help you. That's what it feels like I was called into doing this session. Like you had amnesia, but it was time for you to lock in. So, blossoming is the first word. In its prime, cause for celebration, a hive of activity. The timing card is June, July, August. Summer brings the warmest days and the longest daylight hours as the sun reaches its peak and the earth blooms and blossoms in response. In ancient times, people celebrated the passages of the seasons as their existence was more reliant upon the natural rhythms and cycles of the land, particularly the sun for its life-giving properties of light and warmth. So the summer solstice or midsummer mark a time of great festivities. June was named in honor of Juno, Roman goddess of women and marriage, and still remains the most popular month of the year for weddings. When this card appears, it represents something blossoming and in its prime, reaching a pinnacle. Lady Summer brings cheerfulness and celebrations and the reminder to make hay while the sun shines. Together with the Union card, which it was, right? It would strengthen the association of a wedding. This card covers a 3-month period from the 1st of June to the 31st of August. I don't think I could be any more clear about that. You have been waiting 2,000 years for the lifetime where you and your partner will wake up from a sort of cryo sleep where y'all have been unconsciously together in different roles to each other, bringing back balance from what happened in the war before you got here. And it's like this lifetime, y'all get to wake up one day and look at each other like, holy shit, we're in these humans. So thank you so much for your patience. I hope this blew your mind and you have a great day.